everybody. Welcome to imaginativevisions.com. Justin here. And it's been a long time since I did an actual project showcase or concept video. And today, my friends, I wanted to talk to you guys. First, I'm going to give you a quick channel update before I begin this little showcase. I know I haven't been posting as much, but I did just post the new Resident Evil Requiem review. So hopefully, check that out. Absolutely get that game, by the way. But I have been busy working on my first novel ever, which is set to finally be releasing July 6th, 2026. The Kindle version is available now for pre-order, and the book title is Where Light Remains. This is not the final cover. This is just an author's copy that authors order so they can see how the format, the text, and everything looks. So let me just give you a quick overview of Where Light Remains, because the concept I have for this story is taking place in a post-apocalyptic world, and it follows the story of New Haven, which is a town that's built by the survivors of this particular world, and they have to survive solely on solar power energy. And I got this idea from it by watching like The Walking Dead, Dawn of the Dead, playing zombie games, and I've always see that power goes out or people are just really scrambling for supplies. So I had this idea, I was like, what happened if they use solar energy for their power? So like the sun doesn't go out, God will or not. So how would that work, and what would the world be like? This is a zombie-esque type of book. I'm saying zombie-esque because there is a twist as always, and I'm not going to spoil it here. But what I wanted to do with this particular video is that I wanted to give everyone a preview of chapter 1 and chapter 2 and giving you a preview of what my concept is for the audiobook or audible version of it. And for me, I listen to audiobooks all the time, audiobooks from time to time, and Audible from time to time. And I always feel like it comes off a little bit monotone. I've always felt like audiobooks should be in the ways of the old school radio of the 1930s and the 40s, where you have sound effects, you have music, you have voice actors, you have an actual performance. It should feel cinematic. And what I wanted to do is that I wanted to give you guys a concept of chapter 1 and chapter 2, the audio version of it. All the work obviously is written by me, but for the audio version concept only, the concept, it has been AI generated using voices from ElevenLabs. So I wanted to do that because I wanted to show everyone my vision of what the audio book is going to be. If you are a voice actor and you might be interested, you come across this video, you can hit me up through imaginativevisions.com, contact us and let me know what your rates are. I will gladly talk business with you, and I'll probably start looking for casting after the book is released for the audio version. So the audio version will not be available during the actual release of the book. But that being said, my friends, I don't want to waste too much time because the audio version is the chapter 1, chapter 2 is going to be a good like half an hour. So without further ado, my friends, here is Where Light Remains, chapter 1 and chapter 2. I hope you like it. Please like, share, and subscribe. I'll be back afterwards to talk a little bit more about the future of the channel and the book and everything else. So please enjoy. Without further ado, Where Light Remains.
Where Light Remains, written by Justin D. Williams. Chapter 1. Mara. The sun burst in the morning with a kiss on her cheek before the alarm could even try to wake her. Mara woke up in bed, eyes snapping open to the warm light filtering in through the slats of her window. The warmth was soft, insistent, and evidence that the town's reflectors were still adjusted, following Genesis's morning arc through the skies. She sat up with a smooth stretch, releasing a breath as her bare feet touched the chill of the floor.
Another day in paradise,
She said, not with sarcasm or happiness, but with acknowledgement of survival, the kind of tone from a person seasoned by experiences and been through hell. Mara's bedroom was clean. A solar lantern hung on the wall, dim now in the daylight. A folded blanket lay across the foot of her bed, made from salvaged cotton and dyed with cactus flowers. On the nightstand, there is a photo of her husband Darren, and their little girl, age 8, Natalie. The picture frame was cracked in one corner. Mara got out of bed and headed to the bathroom. She enters the shower, pulling the curtain closed behind her. The water delayed being released for half a second, then flowed warm, clear, and reliable. Water was luxury, and one not taken for granted in the town of New Haven. The town's purification system, powered by solar energy and pressurized gravity tanks, funneled rain and condensation into underground reservoirs. Small pumps that were rebuilt from old mining gear and spare batteries keep it flowing. The tanks were salvaged from the old world now gone. Chemical drums that were refurbished, water silos and storage vats raised onto steel scaffolding or the roofs of homes. Some were brought in from faraway places by solar-powered trucks. Others were built from scratch, using spare parts of things scouts would find. During the day, solar energy powered small pumps that filled the tanks with clean water. At night, gravity took over, letting the water flow down through the pipes without needing electricity. It wasn't luxurious, but it worked. The water ran over her smooth skin, washing away the film of sweat from the night before. 5 minutes, that was the limit. One of the rules in New Haven that nobody dared violate. It was enough to feel human, but not enough to waste. New Haven rationed everything: water, food, and light. Power rotated on a schedule only a few people fully understood. If the nursery drew more during the day, the West Block went dark at night. If the medbay ran full diagnostics, streetlights dimmed to half strength. Nothing here was unlimited. Survival worked because everyone agreed not to take more than their share. Steam rose gently around her as she stood under the stream, her hands braced against the white wall. She is 5'6", athletic built and strong from years of scavenging, lifting, and climbing. Her skin was brown, and pixie-cut hair clung slightly to her forehead. A visible scar on her right cheek was one of the reminders of her new reality. As she scrubbed her face, her fingers began to tremble. Her breathing started to get heavy, and suddenly they were here again. Darren and Natalie charging at her, no sign of who they once were in their eyes. Eyes dead, jaws unhinged. Mara's own screams caught in her throat. She can feel it like it happened yesterday. The feel of the trigger, pulling it twice. 2 clean headshots rang out from the gun, one for Darren and one for Natalie. She shuts off the water, holding the towel still trembling. She wrapped herself quickly and stood still, looking at the mirror. She stares at her beautiful, bright brown eyes and watches a few tears run down her cheek. She didn't wipe them away, but let it flow for a few moments before she's interrupted by a knock at the door.
Hey, Mara!
Came the voice of Josh.
You alive in there? I mean, like, alive like a functional person in New Haven, not like, you know.
She shakes her head, gives a short breath, and composes herself. That was the thing about Josh. He has no filter, jokes to hold grief and pain at arm's length. Mara viewed it as endearing that someone can find some type of humor, even sick humor, in this new world.
I'm alive!
She yelled out.
Give me a few, will you?
She dressed in her usual cargo pants, reinforced boots, and a black tank top with a utility vest slung over it. Her black hair with a pixie cut needed no maintenance, just a shake, and she was good to go. She looks at the photograph of her family one last time before leaving the room. She lets out one last deep breath and walks down the stairs to open the door. Josh stood there, with his blue eyes, crew-cut blonde hair, 5'11" or 6 feet if you included the boots for a lift. He is holding the custom-made New Haven solar scanner, a tool combined from parts of the old worlds. Such tech used is the solar panel tester, which was used to measure how much electricity a solar panel is producing. A thermal camera, used to spot the hot spots of overheating areas on the panel that can detect damage. A multimeter, with solar attachments, that measures the voltage, current, and resistance in the solar systems. Finally, the IV curve tracer is used to map a solar panel's electrical output over time. All of these elements were combined into one device by New Haven's technology department leader, simply known as the Professor.
Morning, sunshine.
Josh said.
It's your favorite day, panel check day. Are you ready to do something that every resident should know and do themselves?
Let's get to it.
Are you okay?
Josh asked with a concerned look on his face. Josh didn't press the issue. He moves to the side so Mara can leave her house. He stood behind her as they both stared at the scenery of Main Street in New Haven. Main Street stretched out before them, clean and sunlit. It didn't look like a town that had survived or even seen the end of the world. The sidewalks were swept and clean. A statue of a knight riding a horse found in the old world stood in the center of the street. New Haven didn't just survive. Some days it looked almost normal. Mara paused, taking all the beauty of New Haven as Josh looked on beside her.
Amazing, isn't it? It looks like the world never ended.
This place is why we've made it this far, but no place is perfect.
As they take time to get ready and admire the view. To their right stood a row of homes, well-kept and solid. Across from those homes is a 3-story apartment building, the one reserved for the Scouters, the people who leave the safety of New Haven to search for medicine, fuel, tech, and whatever else they can bring back.
Timothy's group has the west side, so we've got Main Street today.
They walk to the first house on their checklist. The mailbox reads, Sato. Josh knocks on the door. A small woman opened the door. She looked to be in her 20s, short, around 5 feet, of Asian descent. She held one hand over her stomach.
Hey, Keiko. Panel check.
Of course, Mara. Still running smooth, I hope.
Mara and Josh use the ladder on the side of the house and climb up to Keiko's roof. Josh scanned the panel while Mara checked for any dirt or damage. The scanners indicate the numbers are strong.
All clear.
Mara and Josh climb back down the ladder and inform Keiko of the news.
Panel is looking good, Keiko. Tell that baby it's living in paradise.
Thanks for keeping us going.
As they walk away from the porch and head towards the next house, Josh leaned toward Mara and whispers,
So, she's one of the breeders, right?
Mara looks at Josh, annoyed. Her eyes look cold and filled with rage at his comment. She is clearly triggered by the question and the reality of Keiko's role in New Haven. Josh notices Mara's reaction and continues to talk.
Man, not gonna lie, Mara. A job where all you do is sleep, eat, and...
Shut up.
Mara shouted, cutting him off. Josh raises his hands, chuckling a bit.
All right, I see I've touched a nerve. I was just saying.
It's not a joke. You know what they do, and you know how little choice they have in it. They're expected to carry the future, whether they want to or not.
Josh stays quiet for a few steps as they reach the second house. House 2 belongs to Paul, one of New Haven's cooks. He's currently not home, but his wife Tiffany was there to open the door.
Good morning, y'all. Paul is out getting more salt from storage, but you can head to the roof and do your routine check.
They climbed up the ladder and ran the same checks, finding no issues, no damage. The panel was solid, power stable. As they walked to the next house, Josh looked disappointed.
Dinner tonight is fish and rice again.
If I see one more fish, I might scream. I'd kill for a burger.
Well, ocean life was weirdly lucky. So were chickens not to get infected? Researchers are still trying to see if there's immunity in them.
The next house was painted light yellow, with a wide front lawn used for play. A hand-painted sign read, Nursery, and inside they could already hear the toddlers laughing. Nurse Jessica meets them at the door, wiping her hands with a towel.
Mara, Josh, good morning. We're just finishing our morning cleanup. Go right on up.
They climbed onto the roof again. 3 panels are lined with the edge of the structure. The first 2 panels looked fine, but the third panel has a small crack stretched along the corner. It's tiny, but it shimmered like a spider web in the light.
This one's chipped.
Could have come from heat stress or something else.
Josh didn't answer. He was intently looking at the panel. Laughter from inside the nursery drifted up to them, soft and warm. Mara places her hand on Josh's right shoulder.
We'll mark it for repair. It's holding for now, but not for long.
I'll go visit the professor and let inventory know we need repairs or placement as soon as possible. Kids are in there, so it needs to be a top priority.
They climbed down, the laughter still going, but the mood between them had shifted. Something was wrong. This is the first panel to ever show a crack, and the location of the building reignited a fear they haven't felt in quite some time. Mara and Josh part ways. Josh heads to see the professor, and Mara heads to her appointment with Dr. Tompkins. Chapter 2. Dr. Tompkins. Mara stood at the front of the closed office door of Dr. Tompkins, pausing long enough to calm the storm in her chest. She raised her right hand, knocked twice.
Come in.
She opened the door and stepped into one of the few rooms in New Haven that still felt like it belonged to the old world. Clean white walls, polished concrete floors, and a tall bookshelf of neatly labeled binders, psychology texts, and books. A woven rug stretched under 2 cushioned chairs. Her degrees hung proudly behind her desk in Doctor of Psychology from a major university, a certification in trauma counseling, and a plaque that read, "To heal is to hope." Behind the desk sat Dr. Shirley Tompkins, poised, graceful, and composed as ever. She stood to greet her patient. She's standing at 5'7", curvy and confident. Her long brunette hair was pulled back into a tight ponytail, making her green eyes stand out even more behind her contact lenses. She wore a tailored olive green blouse tucked into dark brown slacks, her heels worn but polished. Somehow, despite the end of the old world, she still dressed with purpose. Her wardrobe didn't just reflect professionalism, it was her armor.
Mara, come in. Sit wherever you like.
Mara replied with a nod. She took the left chair, the one she always did. Dr. Tompkins sat across from her, opened a drawer, and pulled out a thin file folder with Mara's name typed neatly on the tab. She flipped it open, took out a single sheet of paper, and slid it across the desk with a pen.
Let's start with your mood check.
Mara looked at the options printed in neat, rounded handwriting. Happy, sad, content, afraid, and anxiety. Without hesitation, she circled anxiety. Dr. Tompkins studied her quietly, then placed the paper back into the folder and folded her hands.
Take your time, Mara. No rush.
Mara exhaled, sitting back in the chair. Her fingers tapped nervously against her cargo pants. It took a few moments to gather the words.
I'm not fully alive, Shirley. Not anymore.
Tell me what makes you feel that.
Josh. He joked earlier, before the panel run, knocked on my door and said, "Are you alive in there?" And it hit me hard. He was joking, but it felt too real. Like, I'm here, I'm functioning, but I haven't been alive in a long time.
You're surviving, Mara. That's different than living.
Mara nodded. Her throat tightened and she clutched her fist, her hands together, placing at them on her forehead, fighting back tears.
I still see them. Darren and Natalie. Every time I close my eyes too long.
Dr. Tompkins didn't interrupt, allowing Mara to share her story.
The world as we all knew it was ending.
Blood runs down the school hallway. Lockers hang open like gaping mouths. Overturned desk, backpacks, and bodies litter the floor. Mara runs, breathing heavy as she runs past a classroom window, where a teenager girl wearing a cheerleader uniform is slamming a desk into her teacher's skull. Screaming echoes from every corner, students, teachers, monsters. But they're all human, just broken, changed somehow, no sign of what they once were. She bursts out the double doors into the outside parking lot. It's worse out here. Fire burns inside cars. One vehicle crashes into another and no one climbs out. Across the street, a man beats a woman's head into the concrete until her skull caves in. A boy no older than 12 is chewing on his own mother's shoulders. There is no screams, just gurgles. Mara runs and doesn't look back. She spots a police cruiser near the far curb. The driver's door is open. The officer slumped over the wheel, his throat slashed clean open. His gun was still in the holster, soaked with blood. Keys dangle in the ignition, still gently chiming. She walks to the dead officer, her hands trembling. She reaches for the gun slowly and takes it. She heads to the driver's side of the car and yanks the door open and climbs in. The engine roars to life. No time to think, no time to cry. She throws it into drive and speeds off. As she drives, she glances in the rearview mirror, seeing the officer is now awake, chasing the car. She speeds off, escaping the school. Street signs are knocked down, lampposts flicker and spark. Someone leaps from a window as she drives by. A woman, naked, blood on her thighs. Her body shatters on the pavement. On one street, a man hangs from a traffic light. Below him, two people fight over their boots, ripping their legs from his corpse to get them. Mara keeps driving, not stopping for anything. The only thing on her mind is home. A child runs in front of the car. Mara swerves just in time. Behind her, something pounces on the child, ripping it from view. Only the screams of the child are heard in Mara's mind. She screams in horror but keeps driving. She doesn't stop until she sees a street sign, Shaw Drive. Finally, she is home. She checks the area to make sure it's safe to get out of the car. Nobody is in sight. It's now dark, silent. She parks the car in the driveway and exits, gripping the gun. Her front door is slightly open.
Darren! Natalie! It's me. I'm here.
There was no answer. She steps inside, the gun trembling in her hands. Her sneakers are crunched on broken glass.
Darren?
No reply. Then a scream.
Natalie! No. Darren, stop.
Darren turns. His eyes are fogged over, dead. Blood seeps from his mouth. Natalie's face is pale, her mouth open in a silent scream. Mara doesn't think she runs. She turns and bolts down the hallway into the master bedroom, slamming the door shut and locking it. She jams a smaller dresser in front of it. Thud. Another thud. Darren is trying to break in. Mara's hands tremble as she loads bullets into the pistol. Her breath is heavy, shallow, almost close to a panic attack. She keeps glancing at the door as it's splintering. Then she hears another sound, light footsteps, scratching, and a small groan. It's Natalie, back from the presumed dead. She is with him now. They're both outside the door. Mara backs up, pistol raised. The lock snaps. The door swings open violently, wood shattering. They charge in, both of them. Dead in the eyes. Nothing left of what was remaining. Mara screams and fires. One shot. Darren's skull snaps back. He drops. Second shot. Natalie falls. 2 clean headshots. 2 bodies, and then silence. Dr. Tompkins reached for the box of tissues on the side table and placed them in front of her. Her voice was warm, grounding.
How often are the flashes coming now?
Every night. Sometimes during the day. It's been a couple of weeks straight now.
Mara wiped her face with a tissue. Dr. Tompkins nodded with understanding. She opened a side drawer and pulled out a notepad.
I want to try something with you. 2 things first. A medication called sertraline. It's been used for years to help with symptoms like yours. Intrusive thoughts, panic, mood drops. You'll start at 50 milligrams once a day, preferably in the morning. It might take a couple of weeks to fully kick in, but it helps stabilize everything, your mood, your sleep, even those thoughts that don't let go. And the second is for sleep. Prazosin, 1 milligram at night to start. It doesn't stop the dreams, but it softens them, keeps them from feeling so sharp. It helps a lot of survivors with nightmares like yours.
Mara said nothing for a moment, then nodded. Dr. Tompkins offered a supportive smile.
I keep wondering why I didn't turn.
Everyone does. The rules aren't as simple as people want them to be. Bites are the line. Always have been. Deep tissue, saliva straight into the bloodstream once that happens. Infection is inevitable. Hours, sometimes less. Blood alone isn't enough. Splatter, surface contact, even inhalation raises risk, but it doesn't seal fate. Eyes, mouth, open wounds. That's where we worry. That's why quarantine exists. Time tells us the rest.
So I wasn't lucky?
Meant you were careful. Luck is what people call survival when they don't understand the cost. Well, you've more than earned a little time off. A few days to rest. Reflect. I can speak to the professor and counsel for you if needed.
I'll talk to them. Wendy can fill in my shift with Josh.
Take this to the medicine ward. They should have a bottle of both. If anything feels off, come back immediately. We'll adjust.
Dr. Tompkins handed her the folded paper. Mara stood, pocketed the prescription, and turned to leave. Before she could reach the door, Dr. Tompkins rose and walked over. She wrapped her arms gently around Mara's shoulders.
We will survive. Even when it doesn't feel like it.
Mara hugged her back, brief but meaningful. Then she stepped into the hallway and disappeared. Dr. Tompkins closed the door, the latch echoing softly in the silence. She stood still for a moment, breathing. Then she walked across the office to a narrow drawer in the far cabinet. Inside lay a photograph, a little boy and his mother, both smiling at the park on a sunny day. She set it beside the lamp. Beneath the photo sat a black leather Bible. Next to it, a silver cross chain, and beside that, a small orange pill bottle. She picked it up, turning it in her hand. The label was smeared, half faded from time. Only the first few letters remained visible. E-S-T. The rest was lost to time and heat. Her fingers curled around it. She clutched the chain to her chest, pill bottle still in hand. Her breath trembled.
Oh God, why have you forsaken us?
Her voice cracked, but she didn't sob. She stood in silence for a long while. Then, without another word, she placed the photo back in the drawer, set the bottle down gently, and closed it quietly.
That's chapter 1 and chapter 2, my friends. Want to leave you with a little bit of a cliffhanger. I wanted you to understand the tone that I'm going for and how these survivors like Mara and Dr. Tompkins, Josh, how everyone is planning to survive. And just to give you a glimpse of the world that I've written here, and I hope you enjoyed it here. A couple of things that's going to be coming to the channel. I will also down the line show you a preview of my next 2 books. I wrote a lot of stuff when I was in my 20s. Some were visual novel games. That was a visual novel game that I have converted now into a full-blown novel. It's called The Idol. And, of course, a noir story that was actually going to be the spinoff of Cry Hero, The Radicals. So I'm just repurposing it and not from basically changing it from a graphic novel script to a full-blown novel. And that book is called The Velvet Doll of Queens. And I'm really, really, really happy to be talking about those later down the line in the year after, of course, wherever like Queens is finished releasing. So I will be doing a couple of retrospectives. I will be coming back very soon to do a couple of retrospectives on shows that I really want to talk about, like a Korean show, Winter Sonata, I wanted to do a couple of retrospectives on some video games. So a couple of retrospectives are coming here, and maybe a special Bang J episode down the line as well once me and Julia link up again. So we'll probably do one more special episode for you guys with that one because we're both busy. I believe she's writing something as well. So my friends, I just want to say thank you for all your support. Hope you like the book. It is available for pre-order the Kindle version, so you can head over to the description and click the link. And thank you for all your support, my friends. Peace, love, and happiness to you all. Catch you on the next video. Later days.